Welcome to Sportpen.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving into, well, an extraordinary journey, Michael Phelps. And we're not just talking medal counts, though. Obviously, there are a lot of those.
More than anyone else.
Exactly. We want to trace those, pivotal moments, that incredible determination, and the performances that really changed the game.
Yeah, the ones that made him a true legend. And maybe dig into what really makes someone that iconic in sports.
Right. How do they rewrite the story? So let's start at the beginning. Pretty early on, someone saw potential, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. His coach, Bob Bowman. We're talking age 11.
11. Wow.
Yeah, and Bowman apparently saw him after watching his sister swim and just sensed this raw talent. He even predicted Phelps could make the 2000 Olympics.
At 11, he predicted that.
He did. And apparently Phelps's mom was, let's just say, pretty taken aback by that idea. A little bit of disbelief there.
I can only imagine, okay, coach, easy there. But Bowman was right.
Dead right. Phelps qualified for Sydney 2000. He was only 15.
15. Making him the youngest U.S. male swimmer at the Games since, 1930?
Since 1932, yeah.
A long time. That's incredible. And the story goes his mom couldn't even watch the qualifying race. Too nervous.
Way too nervous. At the Indianapolis Natatorium, apparently. And leading up to those trials, he just massively improved his personal best.
How much are we talking?
Something like 5.5 seconds off his 200 fly time, which is huge.
That's staggering progress right when it mattered most. So Sydney 2000, his debut.
Right. He finished 5th in his main event, the 200 fly. No medal yet.
Okay, 5th. But still at 15.
Exactly. And get this. His time, that 5th place time, it was actually faster than times that had won medals in previous Olympics.
Seriously. So even then, you could see the trajectory was just
pointing straight up.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about making it. It was about getting faster, even on that huge stage.
Okay, so obviously talent. But it wasn't just talent. Bowman seems like he was pretty instrumental in shaping the mindset, too.
Oh, absolutely. Bowman had this philosophy. He said, there can be no growth without discontent.
Sounds intense. Like always pushing, never satisfied.
Pretty much. Being tough on yourself, learning from mistakes. Bowman really instilled that. It was about developing the skills, obviously, but also learning how to perform under immense pressure.
Which comes from that rigorous training, I guess.
That and mental preparation. Visualization was apparently a massive tool for Phelps.
Right, I've heard about this. He'd sort of mentally rehearse races.
Yeah, and really vividly, he talked about having these recurring dreams where he'd see himself winning, see the race unfold perfectly.
That's fascinating, almost programming himself for success.
Kind of. And it wasn't just the big picture, was it? It was the tiny details, too.
Like the finish, that famous finish.
Exactly. That outstretched palm touch, he practiced relentlessly. The one that won him that Beijing gold by, 1/100th of a second?
Just insane. Practicing that specific micro detail. That's dedication.
It really shows you how much those seemingly small things matter at that level. Early training was all about building the engine, endurance, technique, getting stronger.
And he kept that up even while, juggling high school and everything?
Yep. High school, then later some college while being a professional swimmer. The training was constant.
Okay, so the foundation's built. Then comes the first big breakthrough moment, maybe. The first world record.
Yeah, that happened in Austin. That really marked the start of his, reign at the top.
And heading into Athens 2004, the ambition was pretty high.
Immense. He wasn't just thinking about medals. He actually wanted to race Ian Thorpe in the 200 freestyle.
Thorpe's signature event, even though Phelps had, maybe safer bets elsewhere.
Right. The backstroke was probably a more guaranteed medal for him then, but he wanted to take on the best. That tells you a lot about his competitive drive.
And Athens turned out pretty well for him, didn't it?
Understatement. 6 gold medals, 2 bronze.
Wow. At the time, that was the second best single Olympics performance ever, right?
Correct. And only the second male swimmer ever to win more than 2 individual titles at one Games.
But there was also that moment, the relay, with Ian Crocker.
Ah, yes, great moment of sportsmanship. Phelps had a spot in the 4x100 medley relay final, but he deferred it. Gave it to his teammate, Ian Crocker, who'd had a rough moment earlier in the meet.
So Crocker got to swim the final instead.
Yep. Phelps still got a gold because he swam in the heats, of course. But it gave Crocker a chance at redemption, and the team went on to win gold in world record time.
That's pretty classy. Team over self.
Definitely a defining moment.
Okay, let's fast forward. Beijing, 2008. The big one. The quest for 8 golds.
The pressure must have been unbelievable. Yeah. Just immense.
And he starts off with a bang, right? The 400 IM.
Oh, yeah. Sets an Olympic record just in the prelims. Then in the final, he doesn't just break his own world record, he smashes it by almost 2 full seconds.
2 seconds. In a 400 IM, that's like an eternity.
It's massive. And that record, it stood for ages, became the longest-standing men's world record in long course swimming.
This shows how far ahead of the curve he was on that swim.
Absolutely. And then, the drama just kept coming. The 4x100 freestyle relay.
Oh, don't even get me started. Jason Lezak's anchor leg.
Probably one of the most iconic relay legs in history. He was so far behind Alain Bernard of France.
Looked impossible.
Totally. But he just clawed it back meter by meter and touched him out right at the wall by a hair. And
Phelps's reaction poolside was just pure adrenaline. He apparently said Bernard's trash talk beforehand actually helped motivate them.
He did. Said it fired them up. You love that little bit of extra spice.
It really brought swimming into the mainstream spotlight like never before, didn't it? That whole pursuit of 8.
Absolutely. Everyone was talking about swimming. Yeah. And then came the race everyone remembers from Beijing.
The 100 fly against Chavez.
Milorad Havic, yeah.
Yeah.
The finish, winning by 1/100th of a second.
The photo finish, the controversy, the debates. It was intense.
So much discussion about whether he actually touched first. But the technology said yes, just.
The slimmest possible margin. And that was gold number 7, right?
Number 7. The final piece of the puzzle, number 8, came in the 4x100 medley relay.
Securing the record. Most golds ever at a single Olympics. 8 for 8.
History made. And Ian Thorpe, who initially doubted it was possible, he was actually there in the stands for that final relay. And he spoke afterwards about how proud he was, not just of the achievement, but of Phelps's growth and maturity.
That's quite an endorsement from another legend. But, it's easy to look at the golds and think it was all straightforward. It wasn't always smooth, was it?
No, definitely not. There were challenges. He had that DUI arrest when he was 19.
Right, back after Athens.
Yeah. And he was very public about acknowledging it, saying he'd let people down, which takes courage.
And later on, he opened up about other struggles too, didn't he? Mental health.
He did, and very bravely. Talked about dealing with ADHD since he was a kid, and then more profoundly about struggles with depression, particularly after the London 2012 games.
To the point of contemplating suicide, he said.
Yes, which is incredibly powerful to share, coming from someone seen as, superhuman in the pool.
Absolutely. He really stressed the importance of vulnerability, of asking for help. It made a huge difference to that conversation.
It really did. Breaking down stigma, showing that even the greatest champions face these battles.
So after London 2012, he retired, but then he came back.
He did. Took some time off, then returned to competition in 2014.
What brought him back, do we know?
Part of it, reportedly, was seeing the U.S. relay teams and feeling he could still contribute. Maybe a bit of unfinished business.
And his relationship with Bowman had changed a bit by then, too.
Yeah, it seemed to have evolved. Phelps talked about swimming more for himself this time around, really enjoying the process, the journey. Less pressure, perhaps.
More intrinsic motivation, maybe.
Exactly. And he kept succeeding, culminating in Rio 2016.
Where he was the flag bearer for Team USA. That must have been special.
Huge honor. And he spoke about that experience, feeling a sense of connection like he wasn't alone in his struggles.
And still winning medals in Rio, of course.
Oh, yeah. Bowman actually pointed to one race in Rio, one where Phelps wasn't necessarily the favorite, and called it one of the greatest Olympic performances ever, highlighting that team culture and, pulling off unexpected wins.
So looking beyond the medals, beyond the pool, what's the lasting legacy?
Well, on a practical level for the sport, his success definitely raised the profile of swimming. That means more exposure, better sponsorships for other swimmers.
You see that impact for sure.
And there's evidence suggesting his dominance helped boost participation numbers in swimming, like at the high school level, getting more kids involved.
That's fantastic. And then there's his foundation work.
Right, the Michael Phelps Foundation. It does support talented swimmers, but a big focus is broader, promoting healthy, active lives for kids.
And water safety, isn't that a big part?
Huge part. Their IM program teaches water safety, reaching a lot of kids, including through partnerships with Boys and Girls Clubs and Special Olympics. It's about giving back.
And of course, his ongoing advocacy for mental health.
That might be one of his most significant post-swimming contributions, honestly. Using his platform, sharing his own stories so openly, it helps so many people feel less alone and encourages them to talk.
It's incredibly important work. Even Bowman uses his career now as, like a teaching tool.
Yeah, uses Phelps's journey to illustrate what makes a champion. Setting goals, dealing with adversity, staying focused. The lessons are universal, really.
Absolutely. It's just an amazing story of talent meeting sheer willpower.
At resilience. Learning from the highs and the lows. He didn't just win, he kind of reshaped what we thought was possible in sports.
Michael Phelps' journey really is such a powerful illustration, isn't it? How that raw talent, when you mix it with just relentless dedication and, crucially, the ability to learn from everything, the wins and the setbacks, can completely redefine athletic achievement.
It pushed boundaries we didn't even know were there.
And his impact, it goes so much further than the record books. Inspiring people, yes, but also starting vital conversations about mental health. It's quite the legacy.
A profound legacy, for sure.
Thanks for listening to Sportpen.